Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Thursday Health Talk, where we provide you with important information to make the quality of your life better with modern Ayurveda. Today's topic is a very common topic. I'm pretty sure you either know someone who has this issue or you yourself have this issue. And that's the topic of snoring. And along with me, I have today my beautiful colleague Gail Hooley joining me from UK, and together we're going to do a great episode for you where you will learn about snoring, why you are snoring, and stay tuned because we're going to tell you about what health issues can arise when you're snoring for a long time. But more essentially, we're going to tell you how to cure snoring in this episode, right? So stay tuned till the end because you're going to get lots of advices and practical vision on how to make your snoring better. Hello, good afternoon, Gail.
Yes, it's good morning from me over here in the UK, Shivani. So
Yes,
hi
right.
everybody, wherever you are in the world, whatever the time is with you.
Yeah,
Lovely to be with you this morning. Particularly, this is such an interesting topic, isn't it?
it is. It is.
Yeah. I think many of us have been affected in some way, whether we grew up in a household where our parents snored, or we married someone that snores, or as you say, we snore ourselves. Though none of us like to admit it, do we?
Exactly. Gail, when we have Indian marriages, so it's a very common way that everybody is in that corridor, like all the family, and we have big, huge families in India. Everybody's in a corridor or in a big hall, and there are rooms which is like pretty much like, you just have your mattress and you sleep wherever. This used to happen when we were young. Right now the system has shifted to hotel rooms, but before you used to have like a community marriage place, and nobody wanted to sleep near the snorer. So everybody used to say, okay, I will not go near him because he'll snore whole night. But very less of us know that this is actually leading to health problems, or it is leading to deeper problems and it needs to be cured, like this symptom, right? So according to Ayurveda, diet, sleep, and brahmacharya. These are the three important pillars of life. Each one is equally important, and many of the people who come to me for consultations are often saying that, um, well, I want to work better and I want to perform better, and I think I'm losing time. I'm running around like a chicken. And what should I do to perform better? And the answer which I mostly give is that you need to sleep and you need to rest. And people are underestimating the power of rest, right? So, in a society which really all the time emphasizes on performance, a good quality sleep is really the pillar of the metabolism slowing, resting, the mind shifting from the outside world to inside world. And there's an Ayurvedic saying that says sleep is the nurse of every living being, right? So it just nurses your body into this deep relaxation. So, what are the different problems you think are arising apart from snoring? What all other problems can happen when we are having problems with sleep?
Well, I think the thing people like to know is why do I snore? Why do I snore? My wife doesn't snore, or my brother doesn't snore. Whatever. Why do I snore? Well, there are many reasons that we snore, aren't there, Shivani? We know this. I think one of the major reasons in our, particularly in our Western society, where more and more people are overweight, is
Totally.
the weight issue
Totally.
and being out of shape. Shape, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because people are more inclined to snore if they are overweight. So people who are overweight or are obese have excess fatty tissue, and that squeezes on the air passages.
Hmm.
People when they're lying down at night. So following a healthy diet regime has proved very effective in reducing snoring. Quite a lot of research has been done around this. It has been the primary kind of treatment that's brought most benefits is
Hmm.
actually losing weight. So how obviously you have to look at what you're eating and cut down on your dairy produce and those things because they can affect snoring, mucus formation, and all that. Um, cutting our carbohydrates down later in the day, keeping dinner light, ensuring we eat at least 3 or 4 hours before bedtime can also be helpful. That makes a big difference because then our body's doing what it should instead of still processing our food. So, yes, definitely, weight is a big one.
Right. Okay. What I see majorly, the problem with the snoring is basically, because I'm working in the clinic here, is the problem with sinus, right? Like sinus and nasal problems. So most of the people are not even aware that there's this central, nasal septum, and most of the time people have deviated nasal septum, or
Mhm.
from inside they have sinusitis. Especially in the cold countries where we are totally locked indoor for at least 3 months, and people are all inside the house. The aeration is not good. The aeration is always temperature control. Many of the countries also don't have climate like heating water pipes, but they have air conditioning and so on to control, and that makes the sinus very dry all the time. So then, with winter also, people and nasal problems, people are having problems with snoring and they cannot breathe properly. Mm, Allergies, I mean, like this is the new era
Mhm.
disease. I know every, like out of 10 people, 7 people are having allergies of various kind. It can be food allergy, skin allergy, and this is also making sinus problem, and is one of the common reason of snoring, because obviously when you already always the nasal mucosa is inflamed, as a doctor I can say that it's difficult to breathe, and then you're starting to snore.
Yeah, it is a problem. It's a problem, isn't it? Yeah. I think one of the other problems, and it's not one we can do much about, I'm afraid, is age. Because
Mm-hmm.
age, is one of those things where we know muscle tone deteriorates. So older age is associated with quite a number of sleep changes,
Mm-hmm.
including increased snoring. And just as skin loses its tension with age, and the muscles in our bodies become weaker and less toned, so does the airway. And that loss of tone is particularly true of the soft palate because it was soft anyway before we
Right,
lost the
right.
tone.
Yes.
Um, one of the main sources of snoring noise, that soft palate. So if that gets weaker and softer, obviously you're going to have more of a problem. So practicing mouth and throat exercises can help to reduce snoring caused by weak muscles. And I don't think people realize that there are things they can do. I mean, I'm not saying pull the prettiest of faces while you're doing them, but they're very, very effective. I'll mention a couple. I mean, one of them is a very good one. You put your finger inside your cheek with your mouth open and pull your cheek out, and then use the muscles in your cheek to bring your finger back in,
Mm-hmm.
putting your fingers back in.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is to roll your tongue back as far back in your mouth as you can with your mouth open. I mean, not pretty. We don't look pretty, but that you can really feel the muscle tense there, can't you? When you do that one, that's a
Right,
very
right.
effective one.
You can
And
feel
another
it.
one, yes, you do feel it very
Yeah, yeah,
strongly.
you do feel it when
Another
you.
one is put the
Right.
tip of your tongue behind your teeth and force the back of your tongue down into the floor of your mouth with your mouth open. That's very effective too.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
that you feel it. And so there are things that we can do. And if we're a snorer at any age, some of those mouth exercises can be very, very effective for us. As I say, don't
Yeah.
stand in front of the mirror while you're doing them because they're not that pretty, but very effective. So definitely, definitely have those. So
Right.
what else, Shivani? What are the other causes here?
I mean, like here, like when we look from a medicinal perspective, most of the people are into indulging with intoxicants, alcohol, and it's a common practice when you have a stressed out day, you would like to have a drink before bed, or, drink in the evening, and that really kind of affects your muscles in the throat to relax, and the tissues begin to sag and you're starting to snore. But besides this, nicotine is a very highly potent mucous membrane irritator. So it
Mm.
irritates all the mucous membrane, and thereby you are snoring. So people, I mean, addictions are so common nowadays that people definitely do have either alcohol, smoking, or they're taking some medications as well. And some medications also make you snore.
By coming over relaxed, I suppose. It's interesting because the number of people that I've come across who don't sleep well and they're stressed, so they drink to help them sleep,
Right, right.
not realizing that it's part of their problem, and so they get up the next day not feeling rested. Well, but that
Yeah,
would be why, isn't it? They've not had good sleep.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Not
like
good.
also genetically, sometimes there are people who have really narrow passages. I remember my friend, she had a very, very straight and pointy nose, but she was
Mm,
all the time allergic because her nose was so pointy and small that it hardly had space to breathe.
yeah,
So
yeah,
even with the fan on the roof, she would start to feel like allergic problems. So genetically, her nose looked very beautiful, but there was no space inside that nose to breathe. So
looked great, but it didn't work. Yeah,
yeah, it just didn't work, but it looked awesome, that nose.
yeah, yeah. I think sleeping posture is another one of the things people do, because often you see, people asleep and their chin's all tucked in here because their pillows, are wrong, or their pillows are too flat and the head's right back. So um, you do need to keep your head slightly elevated to try and prevent that soft palate sort of dropping
Right.
into the throat. So a little bit of extra height can be helpful. Don't overdo it, and that can prevent those tissues falling into the air passage. It helps keep the passage open, and in fact, it can be quite helpful also to raise the head end of your bed slightly. Some people put the head end of their bed on bricks because they find a higher pillow is stressful on the neck, whereas just raising the head end of the bed is fine. They're okay with that. And obviously, sleeping on your back makes your tongue move to the back of your throat, and that partially blocks the air passages. So we all know, if any of you have slept with a snorer, a quick dig in the ribs and they turn over and they stop, and that's why. You know.
Okay.
Sleeping on your side allows the air to flow easily, and thereby it reduces your snoring. And keeping the temperature in the room cool can help to stop your airways from drying out. I think a lot of people in the West, well, in the colder climates, let's say, I shouldn't say in the West, they sleep with their central heating on, and they don't open the windows and things, and that's really not a great thing.
Yeah.
Um, and also the production of melatonin, which is our sleep hormone, that's also affected when we're overheated. So that applies to all of us. Not, whether you snore or not, don't have your room too hot
Yeah.
because we need that melatonin. Yeah, and this one is going to make you laugh, Shivani. Sorry to all the guys out there, but the other thing that might be behind your snoring is the fact that being a man, you're a man. It's I know we all say husbands snore and what have you. Yes,
Yeah.
women do snore too, but men really are more inclined to snore than women, and that's just due to the physiology of their Adam's apple and the shape of their vocal cords. Can't help that. But we know that roughly 40% of men and 20% of women snore, but that's over 2 billion inhabitants of planet Earth, all
My
snoring at
goodness.
night. So the whole thing should be rocking, shouldn't it?
Yes. That's right. Right. This is very interesting. What are the various reasons of snoring? But what really the snoring does, it is creates health issues. And the good news is that with Ayurveda and breathing exercises, meditation, you can actually get rid of it. You know, because when the health issues start, it's basically a long run thing. So Ayurveda always has its understanding about looking at things long term rather than short term benefits. And when we start to see that we are snoring, the first thing what we would notice about our health is the low levels of energy in the day. So oxygen is definitely a very important vital part of healing human body. And when we don't get enough oxygen through the whole day, then we are actually tired the whole day, and that could be one of the first symptom you're starting to see about snoring, that your energy levels are falling down. And in fact, I've seen many people, they're yawning in the day, like in the morning they're just,
Yeah.
and I know that they have not slept properly and or have been snoring. So when you wake up tired and it's getting tired and you're really feeling irritable, probably you have been snoring in the night, right? So it would be good to put some recorder to check some sounds that if you're snoring or not,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And
That's true.
besides this, the major issue which comes with lack of oxygenation is heart problems and blood pressure problems, because poor quality of sleep is definitely affecting your blood pressure. Oxygen is not being delivered, and in some cases where the air passages are narrow, snoring can also lead to choking. But
Mm.
snoring could be a symptom of sleep apnea. And when you have sleep apnea, it's a type of sleep disruption which has serious consequence on health. And in this, what happens is that the breathing stops, and that is related to the relaxation of the muscles in your throat. And when your breathing stops, then you are awake. And snoring is like the gentle one, but if there is sleep apnea, then you're having stronger symptoms of blood pressure, and all these consequences of health are much more stronger. So, when you talk about medically snoring, normally for women, it starts mostly 30 plus, 30, 35 plus, and then it continues, into their menopausal age, or for some women, it even starts in the menopausal age. And it's very important to kind of correct this flow of breath, because, I mean, like when you don't have energy and you don't have focus and concentration, you can just do one third of what you would usually do in the day, right?
Yeah. Mm. It's very difficult, isn't it? Yeah. And that age group you're talking about, they're usually kind of the young mums and the
Yes,
jobs, and they've got a lot on their plate. So they're not getting good sleep. I mean, it really can make a mess of their lives. And of course, snoring doesn't just affect the snorer, does it? The idea of snoring may not seem like a particularly serious issue, but it can be very distressing actually for the person that's snoring and also for their partners.
yeah,
For the person snoring, they're getting told every morning they're being told off because their partner didn't sleep, and the partner's getting more and more irritable. And of course, for the snorer, it can lead to reduced quality and quantity of sleep, which in turn can lead to irritability, drowsiness, lack of focus, and of course, a loss of libido. Because
right,
when we're tired, the libido goes, doesn't it? That's it. And particularly if we're tired, as the partner of a snorer, if we're tired because the partner kept us awake, then the
right,
libido is out the window there, isn't it?
right.
So for those who live with chronic snorers, there's also chronic sleep deprivation, and that can lead to separate sleeping arrangements, emotional detachment, and a loss of physical contact. So we really do want to address this, don't we? Because long-term snoring has been associated with, as you said, an increased risk of heart attacks, increased risk of strokes, and divorce.
Divorce, yes, I have heard this. Many times
Yeah,
couples divorce because one was snoring and they couldn't sleep.
absolutely. It's actually something that solicitors will tell you. It's one of the things that people highlight when they come in to see them. They say, "I want a divorce. I haven't slept for 15 years," or whatever it is. It is a bigger issue than I know. We laugh about it, but it is a big issue for people, isn't it?
Right, it is. And now we're going to come to the last part of this today's Thursday Health Talk, where we're going to talk
Mm.
about the treatment about snoring, and it is a very important part. So listen to us carefully. So I'm going to start with the first remedy for snoring, and that's basically doing nasyam. So many of the people, nasyam is an Ayurvedic therapy where there are two kinds of nasyam. The one you can do at home, and this is called as pratimarsh nasyam. And for pratimarsh nasyam, you can just do it at home. You don't need any medical supervision. But then there are nasyams where you like put 32 drops of oils inside your nostrils, intensive nasyam, and then you cannot do it at home. So then what can you do at home once you're snoring? The first thing what you can do at home when you're snoring is to kind of, this is like a simple dropper what I have here. So you just take 2 drops of almond oil and you do a head low. So you kind of really tilt your head back and put the drops inside your nostril, like put your head low. And so you put like just two drops of nose oil inside the nostril, and you just massage your nostrils this way. So you're just putting this oil and massaging for 3 or 4 minutes with your fingertips. This is the movements with which you're doing, and you do that every night before bed. And that's a great remedy to kind of make your um, nose and sinusitis a bit open. And you just buy highest quality almond oil because you're going to put it inside the nose. According to Ayurveda, the nose is the gateway for brain, and that's why you can nourish your brain as well when in the night when you're doing that with just 2 drops. And it will just oleate all the dryness. As Gail said, many people sleep with their heating turned on and so on, so it will be oleating
Mm.
that. So that is one of the easiest step what I will tell you if you want to help your snoring. And obviously if it's really high, then you would need to go to Ayurvedic therapy center and get professional nastyam, like 4 or 5, and it will help you open your sinus. The second thing what you can do about healing your snoring is doing oil pulling. When you do oil pulling and you take the oil and you swirl it a little bit inside your throat, then the muscles of the throat and all the speaking, they are really strengthened. So oil pulling and this, like the whole helps the whole area of the sinus and the mouth and the airways to be less obstructed. And beside this, Ayurveda also offers professional herbs for helping your breath. But obviously, with herbs, you just cannot prescribe like that. You will have to have a consultation in order to kind of know which herbs could be good for you, right? And Gail, what do you think about meditation? Because your expertise on meditation and
Yes.
pranayama for snoring. If I would ask you, Gail, tell me this one exercise I could do if I'm snoring, what would you tell me?
Well, I would say both meditation and pranayama very
Okay.
helpful. Meditation is a powerful natural remedy for snoring and other sleep problems because it's relaxing the tension in your jaw and the adjacent muscles, and that helps the jaw to position itself naturally and in a relaxed way when you're asleep. Um, and also, when we meditate, we become less stressed, so we're less inclined to go for the alcohol or whatever it is, those coping mechanisms that you mentioned earlier there. Um, it also helps us to manage our weight. So again, could help us there with the snoring and the sleep apnea. Um, yeah, pranayama is great. There's some great pranayama exercises. A lovely one is Brahmari, and many of you will have done that, and that's called bee breath. And when we do Brahmari, all we do is we breathe, we gently close our mouth, we breathe in through our nose, and we let our breath go back out through our mouth, through those gently closed lips, a little bit like you're humming a tune, but with your nose, but with your mouth closed. Okay, so you're breathing in, and then you're making a little bit of a bee sound, which is quite why it's called bee breath. So,
Can
so
you show it to us?
yeah, so you just close your eyes and you just breathe. Mouth gently closed, not clamped, just gently closed. Breathing in through your nose. And keep going for as long as your breath is, and
That's
just repeating that, repeating a few rounds of that. Can you feel that wonderful vibration in your head? But
very
you
nice.
could really feel it in your throat, don't you? It's wonderful. So the kind of the breath in. And you can feel if you do it at different tones, you can feel it in slightly different places
Yeah.
in your throat if you do it higher or slightly higher or lower tone. That's very helpful, and that's a good thing to do before you go to bed at night because it's not overstimulating, but it will relax you. And over the longer term, it does have to strengthen your throat. So that's a lovely exercise to do. You know, and meditation, as I say, because that helps us to effortlessly breathe more easily. That's what meditation is all about, and that in turn reduces our likelihood of snoring at night. And as you said earlier, Shivani, some people they have an inherent structural issue. There's something going on with their body. Your friend with the very slim nose and the breathing and thing. And if those kind of problems can't be fixed by the techniques we're talking about, meditation is really very helpful and it helps to compensate for that possible sleep deprivation because 20 minutes of meditation is like having a couple of hours of sleep. So having a meditate during the day or once or twice is great. And if you're depriving your partner of sleep too, get them through the meditation with you. Do it together.
Awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. So now in this episode, you've got a lot of remedies for snoring. And if you're snoring, there's no worries, Ayurveda can help you. In many cases, also, Gail, we are also giving neurotonics, right? Because with the stress and all this snoring and sleep apnea, also ashwagandha is a really great herb for snoring.
Mm.
But like I said before, herbs have to be really given with advising and checking all the parameters. Otherwise, you just take herbs and you don't get any benefit. And more necessary, you can just use the wrong herb. So herbs are also there for this. And I loved awesome this awesome episode about a very unique topic, which many less people talk about it. So, I was with Gail saying, like, let's do one because I'm pretty sure we all, if I would say, raise your hand who knows a snorer, everybody would raise their hand. I think, like, there's nobody who doesn't know a snorer. And
That's right.
so, look at this episode when you have a lot of advices. And if you have any questions, you can just leave it below the episode and we'll get back to you with answers. And thank you so much for listening to us today. And don't get stressed about if you're snoring, relax. And next week we will be back with another episode of Thursday Live Talks where we bring very interesting topics for you to make the quality of your life better. Bye bye and take care.
Bye, everyone.